Hello, how you doing today? This interview with Carl Wilson from May '81 took place around the time of the release of his first self-titled solo record, Carl Wilson. Carl was not the easiest cat to talk to be honest. Not rude, just he knew how good the Beach Boys were, and rightly so. I mean, the Beach Boys are one of the greats, one of the all-time greats. He was just a little distant, not quite there, as if he wanted to be somewhere else. I don't know. That's a feeling I had, anyway. But it was amazing to speak with him. I was honored to speak with him. Years later, I would talk to older brother Brian, and of course, that was amazing. And if you've seen my channel, you've seen that, you've heard that interview. But so Carl passed in '98. He was just a young guy, and that was one of the great tragedies. One of the great vocalists of all times. A remarkable talent. So take a listen to Carl Wilson talking about his music and talking about the Beach Boys. Okay. See you later, everybody. Bye.
I know you've been talking about these things all day, so try to bear with it. Do you approach a solo record differently than you would approach a Beach Boy record?
Sure.
Is there a different level? Is there different goals, outlooks?
Well, it's a different level of participation, first of all, because in a group there are 5 in our group,
right?
And with this album it was just myself, and I had a collaborator, Myrna Smith, and so it was a much more direct kind of experience for me.
Easier?
Yeah, it was. It was more direct and therefore easier. It seemed like a lot more got done in a lot less time, and that sort of thing.
Were these tunes that you had?
No, I wrote most of the tunes during the project.
Really?
I had some melody, some stitches of melody. It's like Heaven was partially written before the album was recorded. I had a few of the chords and melody ideas for Hold Me, but most of the things were written during the project. Like Bright Lights was written after we started recording. What else? The Right Lane was written during that time. What are the songs on the album? Let's see. Hold Me, Bright Lights. Oh, What You Gonna Do About Me was written after the album project was already going. And yeah, good. You Hold Me. Yeah. A lot of people say Hold On.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like an O. Yeah. That's fancy writing. Hurry Love was written during the album project. The Grammy was written after it was all going. Seems So Long Ago was written after. So most of the tunes were written after the album project was decided to, after I decided to go ahead and do it.
Did you consciously not want any of the other Beach Boys on the record?
Well, no, it wasn't a conscious want, or a want for somebody to be involved or not be involved. As it happens, in our contract with CBS, we're not allowed to make records together.
Nice.
See, it's not fair for them to give us a lot of money and then have 2 of us go make a collaboration anyway, because they're paying for it, on the business side of it.
I think Heaven is the strongest track on the record.
Yeah, I'll tell you something, it went over the best.
It was so powerful at the Rocks. It was
great.
Amazing. For me, it's the most reminiscent of the Beach Boys stuff.
It is. That's also my training from Brian. The vocal parts in the middle of it. Yeah. I did all those vocals. That was a lot of fun, because what I did was I would do one part and then overdub and make up another harmony part to it, which was great fun.
Brian actually would sit you down at points during the career and help you.
At points, it was, are you kidding? It's like, Mom, make Carl sing. I was like 9 years old, and I had to sing with, I want to play ball, right? Mom, make him sing. So,
Was Brian that good a singer already?
Oh, God, yeah. He was great. Brian's been a monster since he was 12. He's just always had it.
Was there any pressure on you making a solo record, knowing what kind of standards you had set before?
Yeah, well, success standards and stuff like that.
Just the level of the record that you made with the Beach Boys.
Yeah. Well, see, I approached this album as let's see, how should I say this? I approached it in a way where I could just sing real simple music.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like I didn't have any ideas or notions about outdoing, myself or the group. I just wanted to sing and make a real simple record. And I did.
You happy with it?
Yeah. Yeah, I like it.
You captured what you were looking for.
Well, I didn't really know what I was looking for. I mean, in every way, I knew I wanted to record it 3 pieces at a time, just with bass, drums, and 1 guitar. And I wanted it to sound good just with 3 pieces, and that was the criteria. If it made it after we could hear the track, if it felt nice and it would, serve the tune, that was kind of what I went for.
Mm-hmm.
And it succeeded in that, in that end.
Right. Did it take you many run-throughs to come up with final vocal tracks that you were happy with?
Some did. The one that took the longest was Seems So Long. Okay, that we went in one day and I spent all day singing it, and then I think that evening I did one of the verses to Hold Me, and then I went back the next morning and I think at the first take I got Seems So Long, did the whole thing in one shot.
What about Heaven?
Heaven was it took an hour or two, maybe couple. I don't know. The lead vocal didn't take that long, and then the background voices were done all in one evening, because I was singing all the parts.
When you're singing the high parts, is that your falsetto?
Mm-hmm.
It is?
Oh, yeah.
How does somebody develop a falsetto that fully? I mean, it's
Well,
like as strong as almost as your natural voice. There aren't too many people that can pull that off.
I just did sing. I just did. I don't know.
Just years of singing and...
I think it's a training. That's so great. See, that principle works. The principle that goes, the more you do, the more you're able to do. The more you play piano, the more you'll be able to play. The more you run, the better you'll be able to run. It's that. That's just the way that works.
Mm-hmm. When the Beach Boys worked at harmonies, was there always a part that you would take?
No, I always took the part just above the bass.
Really?
Michael took the bass, and I take the part just up, and then it would be Alan, or it would be Michael Dennis. But usually, I would take that lower part there.
Who took the...
Brian. Brian
Really?
took the top, and then Alan would take the one down from him.
Always the high parts were Brian?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Oh, he's great. He's just really great.
What's he doing?
Well, I don't know. I think the guys did some shows last week, and I'm on a hiatus from the group right now.
Oh, I heard about that for soccer?
Yeah, they played after or before a soccer game. Strange. And I know he's got some tunes written, about 10, 11 songs, and there are 4 that he really likes. And he's fine. And Dennis is in great shape.
Is he?
Yeah, Dennis is like back. He's fine.
Good.
Yeah, because he had a rough time there for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's great. Isn't that good to hear? It makes me feel so good. Yeah, it makes me feel...
Brother.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah.
Is it a fair statement to say that the last few Beach Boys records haven't been up to the level of...
I think it's fair.
Why? Is it just everybody's a little
Why?
tired of it? Or?
Well, the group went through a real big separation and very serious thing happened in 1977. We really thought we were going to lose the group. We really thought it was, curtains on the whole thing. And then in 1978, we sort of had a real healing time together. We all went to Iowa and lived, in a dormitory and like an apartment house. It was really cute. And I lived on the Bad Boys floor with my with my other brothers, right? And Michael and Alan lived downstairs. It was just very funny. And we did an album called MIU.
Right.
And then we did the Light album.
Right.
And that was mostly Bruce Johnston and myself, though. Didn't have a lot of involvement from the other guys at all. And then Keeping the Summer Alive was where it just started to go back in that direction of everybody being together in the same moment and doing it all at once. And the sessions for the song Going On and Sunshine were really fun sessions. Brian and Michael just were having a ball.
Really?
It's like Michael forgot about any problems he had singing and was singing much higher than his range, singing way out of his range. And Brian was almost as if Michael tricked Brian into singing and not going, "Oh, my voice hurts," or or something like that. He was singing the high parts.
Yeah.
It was really a great thrill to be there.
Right.
Yeah. We did that up at Allen's Ranch in Big Sur. They raise Arabian horses and stuff. They pulled up a mobile truck with the recording equipment. And we recorded in the barn. It was fun.
Right. Is that the album where you list all the equipment on the back and you talk? It's the microphones and.
No, I think that was Surf's Up. That's a ways back, isn't it?
No.
No?
It was one of these albums you're talking
One
about.
of these?
Yeah,
Oh.
and it lists Neumann's and Sennheisers and.
I don't know. I didn't pay any attention.
You can look around you and see the type of local bands that are happening, the music, the punk thing, the whole thing. Your record, the Beach Boys record, is like a dichotomy, like the other end. What you're promoting in the songs. I mean, you're talking about love, and it's just a positive thing. Everything that they're promoting is, to me, negative and violence. The whole thing. I mean, does that bother you? Does it annoy you? Is your music gonna fit in? I mean,
I hear about some of that violent stuff, and it's just real destructive. I don't want to punish myself and put myself through a real trying and painful thing. I think that's real. I don't relate to that.
because I mean, you look at the Beach Boys, which is an institution, and basically for 15 years they've sang about positive things, you know, and saying these bands might not be here in a year is probably a valid statement. It just bothers me that they take up so much room on the radio, and I mean, it's nothing positive at all in their music.
Well, there's some people doing some good stuff too. I think Tom Petty, as far as the wave of new people, I think Petty's great.
Do you?
Oh yeah, I really like his stuff a lot. He's got a great gutsy voice. He's great.
Like the Police?
Yeah, I think the Police are very good. I can't really tell you what they're writing about. Can't tell you what their songs are about. I can't tell you what the Clash is writing about.
Yeah.
I listened to one of their albums. I need to check it out again. It was a yawn, but that I shouldn't really say that here in an interview. Cause of course, I said
say anything you want.
I know.
How was Springsteen?
I think he's great. Springsteen's great. Those Pretenders did some great things. There's lots of talent, lots of great talent there.
Have you seen the semi-resurgence of surf music? There's some bands around town, Beachy and the Beach Nights, and surf punk. So I know you know those guys.
Dennis, sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little different. I mean, it's like.
Yeah.
But
I'm not really aware of what they're doing.
no.
I'm really not. No, I live in Colorado now.
I see.
I moved there in February, and I just came into town to do this. And I did American Bandstand television show yesterday over at Dick Clark. So I live in the mountains.
Yeah.
So I'm not real in touch, with the latest scoop. You know what I mean?
Do you live near Caribou?
Yeah, very near.
It's really amazing up there. I had
Beautiful.
the pleasure
I love it.
of going there a couple times.
Yeah, that's great.
Amazing. And Gercio was an obvious person for you to work with.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
He's a friend of mine. Yeah, Gercio.
Gercio, sorry.
Well, an Italian man just said it over across the street, and he said Gercio. Gercio. So it's but we say Gercio over here.
Yeah. I mean, he's toured with the Beach Boys and played with them.
Oh, he managed the group for years and played the bass. But when he had Larry Fitzgerald working for him over at Caribou Companies over in Melrose, when Chicago was still real active, they managed also the Beach Boys' career for a while, and Three Dog Night and Billy Joel. And, So I've known Jim for quite a while.
Yeah. I'm wondering if I can go back a bit and kind of just throw out titles and just
Sure,
give
go
a
ahead.
few lines. Surfing, the first single.
Well, yeah, that was the first record we ever made. It was. Well, what happened was Dennis and Michael came home from the beach one Saturday, and Dennis started talking about having a band and make records about surfing, going to the beach. That's the first thing I remember the group. And my dad also knew a publisher, and the publisher wanted somebody to record some folk songs that he owned the copyright to, and we did that, but slipped in surfing. And so when he went to shop the songs around to the labels, they all liked surfing, and that's how we got going.
Surfing USA.
Well, Surfing USA, of course, was from Sweet Little 16, the Chuck Berry song. And Brian did a rewrite on it, and that was a real fun session to do. It was real, we knew we had something going.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we could feel it. It was a real powerful record.
Help Me, Rhonda?
Well, but we did two versions of that. We did an album version, and then Brian thought, well, this is a single, but the album version doesn't sound like it, so we re-recorded the song for single. And I remember I didn't know how well it was doing on the charts or anything, or I didn't know if it was being played on the radio even, and we went to New York to do some shows, and I went in, checked into my hotel room, and I turned the radio on, and he said, "Number one," and he played "Help Me Run." I went,
You're kidding.
"Wow, it's number," so I was real impressed.
That was number one, huh?
Uh-huh.
Was there a Rhonda?
No, as a matter of fact, I remember he was asking Mom, "Well, what's our other cousin's name?" Brian was asking, "Well, what's their name?" He's trying to get a girl's name. He knew he wanted two syllables. And it became Rhonda.
Amazing. Yeah. California Girls?
California Girls. Well, I don't really remember where the record came up, but it's just a song that Brian wrote. I think he was right. He wrote part of it in the car, though. He did a lot of writing in the car.
Did he?
Uh-huh.
I mean, could he hear things in his head
For the
without...
whole thing.
I mean, would he come in every day virtually with tunes? Was it like that?
Well, it was an ongoing process. He'd be working on a tune, and he'd write for I guess a little while each day, and when he'd get tired of it or not think of another idea, then he'd drop it and pick it up another day.
Amazing. So, I mean, Brian did 98%
Yes.
of the writing.
99.
99.
Yeah.
What tunes you did? You wrote Long Promise
Long
Road?
Promise Road and Feel Flows and Keeping Summer Alive and
Co-wrote a few things.
yeah,
Pet Sounds?
yeah, real rich period.
Was it?
Yeah, I'd say so. Musically, it was.
That's pretty
Yeah.
amazing. Was there a competitive thing with the Beatles? Did Brian was
I
Brian
think that
aware
was
of what-
that was an undercurrent maybe with Brian, but the group had succeeded in a pretty big way, But obviously, the Beatles set another standard for success, right?
Absolutely. Good Vibrations.
Yeah, well, Good Vibrations was a record that we took a lot of time to make. It was recorded over, I'd say, a 6-month period, maybe, or maybe even longer. And it was done in about 5 different studios, many sessions, weeks and weeks of recording on that one song. But it had to turn out just right. He was refining it. First I ever heard Good Vibrations was on the telephone. We were in North Dakota. Hi.
How you doing? This is Jeff.
Hi, Joe. I'm Phil. Hi. We had just finished a show in North Dakota with lots of snow on the ground, freezing outside, and I came back and the phone rang almost immediately when I went in the room. And Brian played me this strange sounding music over the telephone. The theremin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was a much rougher record when it started off. It was much more rambunctious.
Was it?
And it got refined as the time.
Was that the first time you'd ever heard of Theremin?
No, the first time was on I Just Wasn't Made for These Times, which was on the Pet Sounds album. And what happened, Brian walked in the studio and saw a theremin and said, "What's this?" The guy said, "It's a theremin." He said, "Well, what's it sound like?" And he went, "Ooh," and he said, "Oh, good. Beat the session tonight,
Is it fair to say that after that it took the Beach Boys to a new level
Yeah, I think so.
in terms of music and in terms of
Yeah.
people
Well,
listening?
Pet Sounds, yeah, as far as influencing, it influenced a lot of musicians and players and writers and stuff like that. It wasn't a big commercial success.
It wasn't?
It was in England. It was huge in England, but not here. It wasn't.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Surf's Up?
Oh, well, that was a real nice time for us. A very, very. was like a renaissance of some kind, an artistic one. And also for me, that was when I became much more involved in the groups, you know, in the production of the group's music, you know, getting it recorded.
It's a really amazing album.
It's a real nice experience.
Was it?
Yeah. A lot of hard work, you know. There were lots of times when I would just wake up, go to the studio, and come back and crash in the middle of the night and go back to work the next day. You know, it was a new thing, but I was really kind of in a thing where I was helping Brian out so he could just kind of take it a bit easier because he wasn't up to putting in that much energy, you know. Because he'd, you know, a few years before he'd fiddled with psychedelics, you know, and, you know, kind of messed him up in a big way.
Holland?
That was fun. I lived there for 7 months, and that was just real different, you know, a real charming experience. Remember, we went there in June, and it rained all June. You know, it rained. No, wait, we got there in May or June. No, I think June was a heat wave. No, wait a minute. Oh, that's right. June, it rained all June, like more rain than they'd had like in 100 years or something. And then July, they had the heat wave of like the hottest it ever was.
Huh.
And it took an extra month to get the studio set up, so we just drank a lot of beer, you know, and just, you know, and went to museums and had fun and played with the kids and, you know, like that. It was neat.
Can you look back? Is there a period, is there an album, a song that stands out in your mind?
Oh, well, in that period, yeah, The Traitor stands out to me. Because that feeling, you know, the vibration on that song, it's in the two sections, right, with the up section, and then it goes into the second half. That kind of, on a feeling level, you can kind of, if you get the knack for that music, when you just listen to it, you might kind of tune into what it felt like.
Was it hard trying to come up with songs with Brian writing all these songs? Was that ever a feeling?
No, that was never an issue with me. I never pushed my songs on the guys. You know, it wasn't like, okay, I've got 6 songs and I want 2 out of the album. You know, it wasn't like songwriting derby.
Yeah.
We always would defer to Brian. You know, we'd always say, well, okay, but do you think if it's sort of, you get a sense if he's really empty, if that's really all he wants to say. You know, the trick is to not push him and say, look, you got to have another, you know, tune or something. But you just try to get a sense of how he's doing on that. And of course, it's a lot of verbalizing, you know, stuff too, as well as just sensing it out. You know, like Angel Come Home, which is a song that was on L.A., was a song that I had written the song a few years before. And I had a track of it. I just went down when I had the studio in Santa Monica. Dennis and I had the brother studio over there. Okay, well, I went down there one night with a couple friends, and we just recorded until real late at night. And I had the song, and we were just, I don't know, I think it was just a quiet day in the studio during LA, and Jim Guercio and Bruce had me play it. They said, well, let's hear some of the tunes you've done, and I played it, and they really liked it. That's how it got on the album. It wasn't like, you know, it wasn't. I just never pushed that issue.
Yeah. Maybe that's why the band was able to stay together so long, too.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it has something to do with it. We all balance each other out. The great thing about the project that I'm doing now is that with the Beach Boys, my role's always been to lay back, way back, you know, and kind of be in service to the whole thing, which is appropriate in that setting. And in this one, I had to really assert myself and kind of really put myself on the line. And it's, you know, I'm getting a lot of practice, getting to sing a lot and play and write and practice.
Yeah.
Great thing.
Did you handpick the guys in the band? Did you know?
Well, no, not really. Myrna Smith, who collaborated with me on all this stuff, used to work with Gerald Johnson. He was the bass player for the Sweet Inspiration. And between one of the sessions, one of the times we went up to the ranch, we went up to Caribou 4 times, one week at a time, to do the recording. between one of those trips, I said, Myrna, I'd like to practice. It'd be neat to, get a little band and rehearse the vocals, because the next time I was going to go up and do lead vocals. And so she called Gerald to see, if he wanted to do it. And he happened to be playing with these guys, the drummer, Krieger, and John Daly on lead guitar. So I got all three at one time. And then when we put the tour together, I called Billy Hinchy and had him come up for keyboard and guitar.
Yeah, Gerald's really amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Gerald's
great.
Excellent.
Yeah, he's great. Did you come to the Roxy? Yeah. Did you tell me you had been to the Roxy?
No. He's played with a lot of people, though.
Oh, yeah. After that, Steve Miller. And he just got back. Steve gave him a car.
Did he really?
He gave him a Cadillac.
Just for going to the jewelry.
Huh? No, for doing sessions just a couple weeks ago. Miller gave Gerald a Cadillac. Like a 47. No, I don't know. $50. Yeah. Like a 76 Cadillac or something. But the thing is that Gerald's a mechanic and he loves to work on cars. Gerald's got tools and everything. He loves, he really enjoys. Isn't that funny? Gave him a car.
All right.
Yeah, I thought that was neat.
A week.
How are we doing on time?
I think do you have like one real juicy question?
Well, I had like 15 real juicy questions.
Oh, he's actually, yeah, we've had some good questions.
Yeah. couple more.
A couple
Okay.
more real good ones.
Jan and Dean, was that like were you friends at that period? Was it a real rivalry?
No way. No. Gosh, no. Jan and Dean were just two funny guys. They were always making jokes, and they were very devious and pulling tricks all the time. And my dad made a remark about people being pirates one time, and they came down to the studio in pirate outfits, because they copied our music, right? They make music like Brian's. But Brian sang on their records and helped him. He wrote Surf City, and he was involved in that. And of course, Jan got in a wreck over here on Whittier and really screwed things up.
Is that where it happened?
Yeah.
Right on Whittier?
Mm-hmm. On Whittier, and where it hit Sunset there?
Well, that's before they had any stop signs on the street. You could go very, very fast there.
People still do, no one cares if
They got like 4 stop signs on that.
Yeah, that's where Dead Man's Curve was?
I don't know where Dead Man's Curve
Oh, I
was.
thought that's
I thought it was one of the Sunset down by the beach.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? But.
Have you heard that Sunkiss commercial?
Of course.
Obviously. I mean, what does that make you feel like? Using
It rubs me the wrong way, and it rubs me the right way. I don't know. It's little. The Good Vibrations one, I thought they did so well that it didn't really bother me. But the California Girls one, just a bit. You know what I mean?
So you're doing what now? You're writing again, or you're?
Yeah, I'm going to go home to Colorado tonight, and I'm on the Doobie Brothers tour, which starts June 16th in Salt Lake City, and I'll be doing that until July 19th, and then, and I think I'll write some songs on the road too, and we'll see what happens with that. As far as the Beach Boys go, I don't know what's going to happen right now. I think, I know what I'd like to see happen with the group is to go in and record something great. But that takes everybody's willingness to put in that kind of time, and to really put yourself all that energy and stuff into it.
Any record the Beach Boys make is a good record.
Yeah.
But I think to make the record that you're looking at, right, it takes 100%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Terrific.
Great. Thanks, guys.